Hey, 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 everybody, can you believe it? We're back, we're back, we're back in action, and it took everything in me to record this episode. I'm just being real. Yeah.
That's right. It's time for another episode of We Everywhere, baby! What's up?
Unrehearsed, as always.
I think it was the cleanest one yet.
Yeah, it was pretty smooth. The words just came to me. The melody, the flow. It all felt right.
That's right. It's all freestyle here.
Wow, guys, we're back. And we thank you for your patience because, you know, life has been serving us a hot tray of shit.
Yeah, it's been life
Eventful.
It's crazy. A lot of stuff's been happening. You know, some stuff we'll talk about, some stuff we're not going to talk about. But we want to start off by thanking everybody who's reached out to us during this time that we haven't been recording.
Looking for an episode.
Putting anything out. One, looking for stuff that's just great. It's great to know that they want
that
it.
You care.
You know what I mean? But we of course we thank you guys so much. And here we go. Hopefully we can keep this streak of doing it the way we're supposed to going.
You know, I gotta say though, you and I dived into this like in 2020, damn near 2 years ago almost. And we just went for it. You know, like I don't know. I'm proud of us. It's guys, having a podcast and committing to something outside of your careers already in your outside life, it's a lot of work, you know? And yes, we may fall off at times, but I just feel like that's just a testament to being human. You know, it's like we're just living our lives. And honestly, we've been going through some things that maybe eventually we will share with you guys. Right now is just not the time for us to share certain things. But it's been really difficult for me personally to get my mind clear and to get myself, you know, just to be in the mood to do a show, to record, to care about anything else right now. So we're trying, we're doing our best. This is real life shit. We're real people. Like,
and I mean, I think for me personally, when we started, life was honestly much different than it is now.
Yeah, it was slower. We didn't have much going on.
Obviously different than it was before.
Yeah.
But just slight things have changed as we go back to what could be considered normality.
Right.
Where, you know, like you said, we'll be exhausted or overwhelmed with something because we're kind of readjusting to being out more, if you will, and not just out of the house, but like out living a different life than we had become accustomed to for a year and a half or whatever. So, you know, thanks for sticking with us, and we're just gonna keep it going. So.
Well, also one of the reasons why we stopped, why the momentum,
what kicked it all off,
what kicked it off, right? the downfall of the last couple weeks was I ended up getting COVID again. So, that bitch ass COVID got me again.
That's right.
And I'm gonna blame Coachella. Even though I didn't go.
That's right.
It doesn't matter because I know damn well there were thousands of people there that all gave it to each other and came back to LA and spread it around. So, fuck you guys. Just kidding.
I think that's one thing that we've obviously been keeping track of is we've been getting COVID on holidays.
Man,
on or around
it's
holidays.
so bizarre.
Because Nadia got COVID 4th of July.
4th of July.
Last year.
Mm-hmm.
And then I got COVID between Christmas and New Year.
And we missed New Year's together.
I missed New Year's because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then you got it again, or we found out you had it on Easter.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, I mean, Memorial Day's coming up.
You better be careful.
I don't know.
Don't give it to me. Well, I got the antibodies. Antibodies. I got the antibodies for a little while, but yeah, I can't get sick because I'm about to go to Maui with my family at the end of the month, and no, we're not doing that again. So yeah, unfortunately, I got COVID again. I tested positive. I'm pretty sure I know where I got it because I hadn't really been going anywhere that week, so I was able to kind of really narrow it down to like, okay, it was more than likely this place because I didn't go anywhere else. So when I got it this time, the first time I got it, my symptoms were fairly mild. Felt like I had just had like a bad cold for a couple of days. The most notable and unusual symptom to me was like my body was really achy. Like my legs were in so much pain. It was just a really bizarre symptom. But I didn't lose my taste, smell, nothing. This time around, same thing. I didn't lose my taste or smell. But I had a gnarly cough, like heavy cough and a phlegmy cough, to the point where I was like, if I didn't know any better, if I didn't know to sleep sitting up or on my side, like if I was sleeping on my back, like this could really lead to issues.
Right.
But because of reading up on things and hearing from doctors and all this, information that's floating around, I think that really helped me. And every time I coughed, I would spit it out. Like it was just TMI, but whatever. You guys have all probably have had it at this point.
I just think it's funny. It's like I coughed and I swear to God I didn't swallow it. I spit it out.
I did. I kept the trash can right next to my bed, and I was like, I need
it's
this
the worst when
out of my body.
When you can't spit it out.
I know.
And you're like, okay. You got a decision like, do I hold it?
Where does it go? Where does it go?
Not to get gross.
Is it going to slime down the back of my throat?
Do I hold it in here and make it like to somewhere I can spit this out, or do I just have to bite the bullet or bite
Swallow
the booger?
It, bite the booger. Yeah. So, I would get these like really crazy cough attacks in the middle of the night too. It was like clockwork.
It was at 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, you timed it.
Absolutely. It was crazy.
It would wake you up.
It was crazy because we were in separate rooms, obviously, but it was literally clockwork. You would start coughing, get up, go to the bathroom, and I would wake up because I would hear
Movement.
Everything, and then I would look at my phone because I was like, oh, does that mean I have to get up and go to work? Like, I was like, no, it's 3:30, and it happened 3 times that I can
remember
confidently say.
Yeah, it's
you woke
so
up coughing
weird.
at 3:30 in the morning.
So it got me good. Luckily, it didn't last long. Luckily, everything was okay. But missed out on a couple gigs, which is always a bummer. Just honestly, when you have mild symptoms, then the next shitty thing about it is like you are stuck in quarantine. Like you can't go anywhere. You can't do anything. You can't go to work. You miss out on jobs. I mean, at least for those of us that actually give a fuck and care about other people's health, because damn well there's a lot of people who are showing up to gigs and work jobs. If they're not checking, they'll go with COVID.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And there's a part of me that, I get it too, because not everybody has the luxury of not working. People need to pay their bills. So,
well, like
it's a tough call.
I got to say that, I mean, I'm lucky that my job, we can do it from home
remotely. Yeah.
So if, it's very much, if you don't feel good, don't come in or whatever.
But you're still
working. Recently it was like, hey, somebody tested positive. So this area, everybody go home.
Yeah, it's so funny in the beginning.
And then
it was like
okay,
one person in your office tested positive, and it was like Monsters Inc. Yeah. It was like, shut the place down, everyone go home, sanitize your desk, like total shutdown.
Yeah.
No one comes to work for 5 days, the whole week. Like now it's like, well, were you sitting next to them?
Yeah, seriously. Well, they're like, I get a call from one of my coworkers like, hey man, I'm not coming back to the office because such and such behind me, behind the wall.
Yeah.
It's like behind a wall.
Yeah. The partitions.
The partition, right? But it's pretty tall partition, but whatever. It's like somebody over there tested
Particles
positive.
travel.
And I was like, oh, okay, that sucks. And he's like, so I'm going to go, because I think I was exposed to it.
Yeah.
And I go, okay, but you talk to me. So
you were down the line.
Yeah, like how far is this, area
how does
of
this work?
danger or whatever? And it was obviously contained. It turns out, that I guess she came in and then got her results like via the phone.
Mm-hmm.
And was like, I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently the person had come in with a mask, so it was like whatever. But
people don't really wear masks anymore either. I've noticed that. Shit, including myself. I ain't even up front. But I do wear it like 99% of the time with clients. Like, I say that because like if I go glam Nas, I'm not wearing a mask. Like, she's my family. It is what it is. I have like maybe like 3 clients that I don't wear a mask around. And, it's just like, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Who fucking knows?
I don't know. But it's
but,
what I didn't like about it, not what I didn't like about it, but this is just, you're saying, you missed out on jobs, I missed out on this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what it did to me is we didn't get to go to the movies.
Oh, yeah.
Like
a bunch of great shit came out.
Different like point of view on your COVID. I was like, man, we didn't get to go see movies. And I only bring it up because, listeners were sending me the Nicolas Cage, that the Nicolas Cage movie had come out, or somebody had mentioned that that Fantastic Beast movie had come out, whatever. It was just like back-to-back releases.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, no, we're in a COVID lockdown, so I can't go see that. Or no. And then it was more like, well, shit, COVID's obviously out there, so maybe I don't want to go to the movies. And then I started freaking myself out. So I haven't seen like anything that's out.
I know.
Which is like completely unlike me. Japanese correspondent Dustin was giving me shit because I told him that I was going to watch Doctor Strange on like a bootleg, like crappy version.
Yeah.
And he was like belittling me for lowering myself to those standards.
Well, you know what, Dustin?
Like, times are tough, man.
We can't please you in all directions here, because then you talk shit and give me shit about getting COVID again, but then you want us to be dangerous and live on the wild side and go to the movie theater? Like, what's it gonna be? I need you to pick a side, okay? You want us to be safe?
I hope he listens to this episode so he can get his talking to.
Oh, man.
If you'd like to be yelled at via the podcast, go ahead and message us on Instagram. We'll be happy to yell at you.
Oh, man. Well, in positive news, I will say that I accomplished something very exciting. I got signed to an agency.
Yes.
And a lot of people, when I posted that, they're like, what does this mean?
They're like, now what? And
yeah.
like, I don't know.
So what is the point of this? And I'm like, I'm not sure. Let's find out. Just figured I should try it out. So the benefit of joining an agency is it's going to be mostly more on the industry side of makeup, of that whole world. So they kind of have more connections, more pull with celebrities and red carpet and commercials and brands. And, they can give you those kind of deals.
Yeah. I mean, it's an agent. It works
exactly.
the same way.
I have an agent.
Yeah. That's basically what it is.
Yes. So now they're, they bring me jobs. They have an agency fee. They take a percentage of what I make. However, they're bringing me a different level of jobs, a different level of clientele, and I'm getting paid, a good amount. So to me, it's like it all evens out. It makes sense to me. It's like, oh, they're taking a percentage, but it's like, yeah, of course they would. They're bringing me the jobs.
Yeah.
And then even the jobs that I bring to them, like say a company approaches me, it's still this is the part that does kind of suck because I'm like, damn, like they came to me. I don't need you. Like, but they handle everything. I basically pass it over and say, hey, email my agent and they will handle the rest. So they do the negotiations for me. They handle all of the paperwork. They do everything. So I literally just have to sign the deal memo and show up.
Yeah.
So to me, it's a, and it's a bit of, it demands a bit of a little higher level of respect in a way. Not to like say that if you're not signed that you're not respected as an artist, but it's just a different level.
Yeah. I mean, look, in a world where people are fighting to get a blue check mark next to their name,
exactly.
Like,
it's a verified official.
It's very understandable to be like, look, I have worked my ass off to the point where now there's somebody willing to work for me,
right,
to get me, to another level.
Yes.
Like, yeah, fuck yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a very good agency, very well respected. I know a few people, whether it's in the styling world, hair and makeup. Etienne, one of my good friends, he has been signed on to them for several years, and his career is amazing. I mean, he's like Christina Aguilera's main makeup artist, and amongst many others. So it's a different world doing celebrity makeup.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks very glamorous, and it can be, but it does come with a different set of issues, I will say.
Right.
Not going to talk any shit.
Well, I mean, don't talk yourself out of jobs.
No, I'm not. No. I'm not going down that road. I'm just saying it's not for everyone. So we shall see, if this is a venture that I want to take, because I just feel like I like to believe that I'm a kind of artist that can do various, my range is wide.
Mm-hmm.
I can do weddings. I can do editorial. I can do commercial. I could do red carpet, and I like that. And I want to expand on that and just kind of see where I can take that and maybe focus in on one of them a little more. So
right.
We'll see if I like it. We'll see if it works out. I'm excited about it. So, and just kind of proud of myself because I have been busting my ass for many years.
Right. And I mean, it's funny because I understand it from the point of view that you take, where like when you say, hey, I got an agent, but then you kind of immediately go into, yeah, they're going to take a percentage. It's because we kind of,
because I've been working for myself for all these years.
One, but you also know that that's the kind of like stuff like your parents would say, be like, what? But they're going to do that.
Always
like,
our parents. I mean? Yeah.
So
they're taking your money?
Yeah. There's little
like,
stuff like
no,
that.
It's a deal. Like,
yeah. I felt like you were explaining that to like your dad. Be like, so here's the situation. They're going to do this.
You know why?
They're going to take, but it's going to even out. Like your dad's on the other side of this episode. Like, I don't know. I still think she's fucking blowing it.
You know why? I had a lot of people, friends and other people, when they asked me about it, it was like, oh, they're going to take a percentage. Like they just couldn't wrap their brain around the fact of like, do you understand what I'm gaining here? Like
anybody, I mean, I understand nowadays, like, there's a lot of self-promotion and therefore you know,
can do it on your own.
Don't need it or whatever.
Right.
But, for anybody who's really anybody, usually will have an agent of some kind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
you need a team to take you to the next level.
Has an agent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? As far as I know, like musicians and poets and
yes.
literary agents, like there's agents, that's what they're there for. So
even if they hire their mama to do it, it's still a team member. But yeah, so it's a big accomplishment for me. And we're in the early stages. They just set me up with my first gig on their end. I sent them something. And so it's in motion and it's exciting. So yay.
Well, I'm proud of you.
Thank you, baby. What else has been going on? Man, we have the Johnny Depp Amber Heard situation going on. Obviously, we're a little late, but they did take a hiatus this week, and everyone's like, oh, there's memes all over. Like, what are we gonna do this week?
This is. You know what's crazy about this Johnny Depp thing?
Huh.
Is at the start of this trial, I could have been a damn juror. Like I knew nothing. You know what I mean? I knew that they had got some kind of court case in England, but I didn't really know anything.
Know the details.
And then I just YouTube fell in to some I don't know, some channel that I'm not really going to blow them up because they're definitely pushing Johnny's side.
Okay.
So it's very much like skewed that way.
One-sided.
But I fell so deep into their just letting it play while I was working.
Yeah.
And to the point where I was like, okay, I gotta actually watch this trial or get
your own opinion.
Watch highlights from somebody that's not like,
right.
Look what she did. She lied. She did.
Yeah.
But she is not looking good.
No,
in my
she's
opinion,
not looking
like
good.
she is not looking good in this trial.
It's not looking good.
And now it's gotten to the point where people like don't believe her. To the point where they're like saying she's just acting and this and that. To now, there's like a whole thing on TikTok where they're like making fun of her, like her dog stepped on a bee or something.
Oh, it's like a rhyme. What is that?
She says, and then my dog stepped on a bee or something like that.
Yeah, then they keep going with it.
She makes a
is
weird
that a
face.
limerick?
No.
No, when like how they're adding on. They're like, buy one, get one free.
Whatever. I mean, whatever it is, they just
keep rhyming off of it.
But anyway, like, yeah, at first I didn't know anything. Now I'm just like,
now you're in.
Man, I'm in.
You're in.
I'm so in.
I think you're deeper in it than I am.
Yeah.
I've just been catching highlights and reels here and there. I haven't really followed the actual, like I haven't sat down and watched the full trial or anything like that. I've just caught the highlights. But yeah, it's not looking good on her end. You know, when you look outside of like, when you like the evidence of, okay, what I'm trying to say is character wise, right? Like Johnny Depp, you get the things that she's saying about him. And we want to believe her in the beginning, right? We're taught to always believe women when they speak up against violence.
Yeah,
absolutely. We're taught that, like, that's important. And we should. And if she's lying, that is a huge slap in women's faces. Like, first of all, like, how disgusting are you to make that up and use that? First of all, not saying she hasn't been proven in any direction, so I'm not taking sides here, but I'm just saying if that's the case. But when you look at character and you look at Johnny Depp's character and all these things, allegations she's making about him, not once has any of this ever come up in his entire life with any of his other past relationships. Every woman that has dated him, and these are exes, have nothing but the nicest things to say about this man. Like, he's got, you know, a gentle spirit and all these things that they're like saying about him, you know, so that you have that, right? His character is being backed up by other women that have dated him. Then you get her character. And it's like she's been involved in other violent situations before.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
what are
it's
they
like
referring it to DV now?
What does that mean?
Domestic violence.
Oh. I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Again,
yeah.
I was noticing that in the YouTube videos, like they won't say, I guess, trigger words. And I don't know if it's so that YouTube doesn't
flag them or something?
I don't know if it's because YouTube will push them down the algorithm.
Interesting. Oh,
so
maybe.
they're using a lot of like code words, like they're saying DV, or they're saying she was the A instead of like saying abuse. I'm not worried about our algorithm. Nobody listens to that shit on YouTube. I think it gets like
there's no algorithm on the podcast network.
but yeah, it's
just, you know, when you compare those things outside of what's even happening in the trial, it's just kind of questionable to begin with. It's like, and then you get her therapist it was her therapist, right? Or was she a psychiatrist? I don't know, whatever. She goes on the stand and talks about Amber, how she's got like a personality disorder and like borderline personality disorder, all these things that it's just not stacking up in her favor. It's just not looking good for Amber Heard, know? And then her fake cries, like, give me a break. None of those cries look legit.
To me,
take her acting career away immediately.
To me, the buck stops when somebody craps in the bed.
Omar has been obsessed with that part of this whole trial. Like every meme, every video, TikTok, whatever that has to do with crapping in the bed, he's like, look at this.
I just think it's so funny that it has to be that it's in a court of law. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like this is the high, like
yeah. And the way that Johnny's laying it out too,
he's
so smooth.
I'm sorry, he's an actor too, so he's kind of delivering his story in his very Johnny Depp way. He's like,
there's pauses.
Yeah. There was a picture. And you're just like, okay, tell me what was the picture of Johnny?
Yeah.
I'm at the computer, like, tell me. So it's just like, I'm sorry. And,
he's like, and then I rolled over.
She's got to sit there and hear it, like being said about her and like.
And her attorneys are crap.
And
her attorneys are bad.
Honestly, I don't think that there should have been. I don't think that we should be allowed access to it. I think it's like it's crazy.
A shit show.
It's crazy that we're allowed to see this whole thing go down. But if you're not watching at least highlights of that stuff, you're missing out, man. It's crazy.
Entertaining to say the least.
It's crazy.
So when are they supposed to be done with it all? When did they get a verdict?
I have no idea. I mean, honestly, when I say that I'm into it, it's really just highlights. Like I'm not.
Yeah.
I did sit I did listen to her on the stand.
Right.
But it's just, even then, it's just like a lot of the same kind of questions and shit like that. Like,
yeah. Did you see that video where they were saying that she was blowing her nose, but she was really snorting coke out of the tissue?
Yeah, I saw
Not gonna lie, it looks a little suspicious.
Yeah.
It's a long pause there. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's crazy stuff. Like they played a deposition from I think like the security guard of the building, and the dude is like vaping in the deposition.
That was so hilarious.
And he's like,
I don't even want to be here.
Yeah, everything they ask him, he's like, no, I don't remember. He's like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. Literally, he's like, I don't want to be part of this anymore. I'm tired of this case.
That was so funny.
I was like, holy shit.
He literally did a FaceTime driving in his car while vaping.
He was driving. He's like, I gotta go to work.
Stop calling me.
I wish I knew his name, man. But
yeah, that was great.
That shit was hilarious. Okay. let's knock some of these notes off, the stuff that we've been writing. We're going to talk about this and this.
Well, because I think one of the things that happened that you and I, we were supposed to go to the Dave Chappelle show.
Oh, okay. When you tell your friends or whatever, you're like, oh man, if I don't go, I'm gonna have FOMO, whatever. And then it's very easy to be like, well, you know what? It's probably not going to be as good.
Come on. Dave Chappelle shows are always good.
No, not the Dave Chappelle show. I'm just talking about like FOMO in general.
Yeah.
You're like, you can
talk it down.
You can kind of talk yourself down like, all right, I'm building it up too much. It's not going to be that exciting or anything. This one was like the king of all FOMOs, yo. Because we missed out on this whole like situation.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, we were supposed to go. A bit of unforeseen circumstances happened, and who we were supposed to go with got sick. They couldn't go, and it just fell through the cracks. And but we had the tickets. We almost went. And when we found out the next day about Dave getting attacked by I I almost said viewer, listener. What do you even call
Just an audience member.
Audience member. Thank you. We were like, damn, we were supposed to go to that. We were so pissed.
Yeah, and I'm sure, everybody's seen the videos already, but it's crazy,
Well, yeah, it's a bit of it seems to be a bit of a trickle effect, because it's like, okay, you get Will Smith attacking Chris Rock, and now everyone's feeling like, okay, like we can rush the comedians now and like attack them because we're offended by what they say. And so, cause Omar and I ended up going to see Chris,
no,
sorry,
we saw Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
You still think about Chris Rock getting slapped. You're like, did we see Chris Rock? We're like, no.
I was like, no, not Chris Hart. What am I saying?
We went to see Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, we went to go see Kevin Hart. He had a show at the Crypto, which I still cannot get used to saying.
I still call it the Staples
Yeah,
Center.
it's going to be the Staples Center forever. We're like those old crotchety people. Well, in our day, we called it Staples Center. And that's what it'll be forever.
I'll never recognize Missouri.
But it's just weird. Crypto is weird. I don't like that name. But anyways, we saw him. He was really funny. But as he came out, and I knew it, I was like, there's no way in hell he's coming out and not talking about what's going on, because the Dave Chappelle thing had just happened like 2 days before that.
Yeah.
And so I was like, he's gonna address it. And sure enough, Kevin Hart comes out with a baseball bat, and the whole front of the row, the front of the stage, packed with security.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 6 of them at least, huge security guards. Covering
he's
stage.
a little guy.
True. But it's a big stage. Got to keep it all covered. So yeah, he comes out with the baseball bat, and he's like, if any of you motherfuckers come out here, like, just know I will not hesitate on swinging on your ass. Yeah. And so it just, man, what's happening in comedy right now? Like, what is going on? You think it's at a different peak, all time high, like people and their sensitivities, or what's happening?
I mean, I definitely think that people have been getting more and more sensitive, or just not sensitive, just that people are more willing to say that they're offended by stuff. You know what I mean? And people are like, I don't know. And the thing I'm not going to say the thing that happened with Will and Chris directly led to whatever happened with Dave, but I mean, it definitely,
it's very close in timing.
It definitely is a little close. I can't call it a coincidence. You know what I mean? And it turns out that the person that attacked Dave is a rapper.
Is he?
Yeah, I think he even put out a song, something about Dave Chappelle or something like that. So,
he had tweeted or posted, about
that he's next or something like that.
Yes.
So you know what? I guess in that aspect, then it directly had something to do with that. I literally retract my last statement immediately. Now that I remember that.
Never mind. Everything I just said is bullshit.
Yep. Disavow all that. Strike that from the record.
Mark, you know what to do. Well, it's funny because all of this that's been happening, you and I had watched a documentary months ago, actually, that I had stumbled upon called Can We Take a Joke? And it's on Amazon, and it's from like 2015, 2016 or so. And it's definitely a one-sided documentary. It's definitely takes the side of the comedian and the role of defending the comedians and saying, like, you guys just all need to suck it up, basically. Like, that's their stance.
Right.
But I thought that there was a lot of interesting points. There's a bit of history as far as them talking about Lenny Bruce, who was kind of one of the first stand-up comedians, and he ended up going to jail.
Well, he wasn't one of the first stand-ups. He was he was one of the first people to take it from
took it to the
kinda
next level.
joke, like the kind of jokes that would have a drum. You know what I mean?
Oh,
that
right.
kind of deal.
Yes.
It's like, oh, take my wife, please.
Yes. Bum. Yeah.
So he took it from that to telling more stories of what we now know, like storyteller type.
Right.
Stand-up comedians. But yeah.
He kind of shifted the stand-up comedian.
Yeah, and it was more about his life and less about just like, hey, waka waka.
Right. It wasn't just like punchline. Exactly. It wasn't like punchline, joke and punchline kind of thing. But yeah, his story is really interesting because the whole documentary really talks a lot about like freedom of speech and censorship and where we're at right now in the world. And again, this is like from 2015, 2016. So this was like several years ago. Mm-hmm. So it's gotten, I guess, worse, if you want to say worse. I don't know, or more. I don't know what the word is, but he ends up getting arrested and going to jail for speaking obscenities at a nightclub after midnight. And it's like, that's crazy. You know, during that time, okay, obviously things were different. And there's another point that they make in this documentary of how, you know, what people are offended by is ever changing also. You know, it doesn't kind of consistently stay the same. At one point in time, people are really offended about making sex jokes. You couldn't say anything about sex, versus now you can like show everything with sex, talk about sex, but you can't, you know, make gender jokes or race jokes or whatever it is. So it's always kind of changing with what people are offended with. But man, just to say some obscenities in a place where you should feel safe as a comedian. You're in a nightclub. Like, that's your territory.
Yeah, I mean,
people go there to hear that. Like, this is after midnight. This is after hours. You're not on television. You're not in the daytime. You're not in anywhere that's inappropriate for you to be speaking in this way. And you get jailed for it. Like, it's just wild.
Yeah, because this was the 1960s. Like,
right.
Like early 60s, right? 62, 63, something like that. So like you said, they were arresting him in every city that he would go perform.
They were following him, yeah.
For saying I think on one of them he said cocksucker, and boom, they arrested him. And like boom. So then
he made a joke saying like, well, does cocksucker offend you or motherfucker?
Yeah, exactly.
Because these people could say motherfucker and you're okay with it.
Yeah. So it's like and he took the point of view of then, you know, using that in his act in regards to like, you know, this is how they're finding me offensive, or where's the line that gets drawn. So he was pointing a lot of that out, but he did end up getting sentenced to 4 months in jail for obscenity, for words, you know,
for words. Yeah.
And here we are way later, and there are like still people getting, you know, in trouble, but now it's not really a comedian. Now they're getting slapped or, you know, attacked.
Well, now they're getting,
canceled.
It's messing. Yeah. They're getting canceled, and it's messing with their gigs. It's messing with their careers. It's messing with their endorsements. It's like, if you say something that people don't like, then now you're dropped from all these endorsements and you have to do a public apology. And even if you do a public apology, it doesn't guarantee anything. Unless you're Chris Brown and you can beat up women and still have a fabulous career. Like, what the fuck?
I mean, what are you going to say?
It's just crazy. But yeah, there's some interesting points to be made in that documentary. I thought it was very interesting. And, you know, typically I don't think I just only speak for myself. Omar and I are kind of on the same page. We do tend to take more of the side of the comedian. And
I mean, only because I personally am not easily offended.
Right.
So it's hard for me to.
What a happy life.
It's just, it's hard for me to view it from that other point of view of, you know what I mean?
Well, it's an interesting thing because what they also talk about in this documentary is that people only think things are funny as long as it's not directly related to them or affects them.
Yeah.
Once you cross that line and you're, again, they're being offended. They find that offensive. Then it's not funny, but they'll laugh at a racist joke of another race because that's not their race and they're not offended.
Exactly.
So it's just kind of like, come on, like you're going to cherry pick here. Like I don't know. To me, it's like all or nothing. And that's why I take the approach of like, no one's off limits kind of a thing. Like I'll laugh at all the jokes, but because I don't take them into serious context. I know I'm not racist. I know I'm not ignorant, but sometimes shit is just funny.
But I think we have to put it in the context of when it's coming from a comedian, it has to be, at least for me, it has to be taken with that particular grain of salt or whatever. It's like, if I go to a comedy club and a guy starts making fun of me, I mean, well, what the fuck am I doing in a comedy club?
Exactly. Like, don't go there.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know what I think is comedy? When I make fun of my brother or when I make fun of my, so it's like.
Or if somebody has a really good joke making fun of you, how are you not going to laugh? Like if it's a good joke.
Tough. It depends on how you're going to respond to that. And if you don't want that to happen, then don't go there.
Yeah, exactly.
I think in the documentary, Penn and Teller, he says something, and I'm probably going to butcher it, but he says nobody has the right to not be offended,
right?
But there's like no legal right to not be offended,
right?
But you do have like a societal right to not go somewhere that you're going to be offended,
right? Don't put yourself in that position.
Yeah. God, I swear I probably butchered it. But that is the point.
But that's the main gist. Yeah.
It's like, hey, you don't, it's not your right to like not be offended.
Yeah.
Like,
you can be offended.
You can be offended.
Absolutely.
Like, and there's people. Like,
and that shit is offensive. Like, again, it's meant to be.
And I am biased because I do like comedians that tend to be, I would hate to say offensive because I don't find it that way, but that tend to rub people the wrong way. Like even Ricky Gervais, he rubs people the wrong way in his specials and stuff like that.
Your favorite Gilbert Gottfried?
R.I.P. Huge fan of Gilbert Gottfried, and he passed away.
And you were super bummed.
I was so bummed.
Did you cry?
No.
Don't lie.
No. But I was definitely...
One tear?
I was definitely sad.
Well, it's funny.
It sucks, man.
I
found him so funny.
I did not like him before I met you, but it was really only because I didn't pay attention to what he was saying. I was just so irritated by his voice that I was like, oh, I can't with him. And never paid attention to them. And then when you were like, oh, I love him, blah, 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 and you would like put shit on and hit the Comedy Central roast and all this stuff. And he's hilarious. Like only because he takes it so far over the edge. Like it's the furthest over the edge.
Yeah. And I mean, he also, there was a documentary made about him called Gilbert.
Yeah.
Where you kind of really get a different look. I
Wow.
don't know what the fuck that was.
A look?
You get a different
look.
You get a different look into, he is, and he's not that persona that you see on the roast.
Yeah. He's like a family guy.
Yeah.
Super cheapskate.
But
steals all the toiletries from every hotel he stays at and has a huge supply.
Under his bed is the largest container you could buy, filled with
free toiletries
from all the hotels. And his wife, in the documentary, his wife is like, look at this. And he's never going to use any of this. And he's like, it's
he just
free.
keeps collecting it.
It's free. I'm going to take it.
But it's free. Remember, he says, free speech is important because I don't like to pay for speech.
Yeah. That's a good Gilbert Gottfried.
Thanks. I surprised you with that one, huh? Well, also when he says...
Give me some of the Aladdin lines. Tell me you're so ticked off that you're molting.
I don't remember the lines.
That's the line.
I'm so ticked off, I'm molting. That wasn't good. But listen. He does say in the documentary, which I think is a very interesting point, and I think it very speaks loudly to people in society today, and with cancel culture and the way that people post on Instagram, how everyone bandwagons whenever there's something that's happening and everyone's like, oh, pray for this or pray for that, or, it's just a lot of mumbo jumbo for the most part. Like, sorry, like I do believe in support, but I also do believe that there's a lot of people who are full of shit and just post it so that they look like they're a good person and don't really give a fuck. Mm-hmm. Like, that's just how society is now. It's all about image. So Gilbert Gottfried in the documentary says, when people are outraged by something.
I fucking love this.
They're also patting themselves on the back. Like, I'm a good person. I was offended. And I think that that's so true. I think that that's people like, it's like, think deeply. Are you even really offended? Or are you just shocked by what they're saying and you are like, I should be offended by this, therefore I should speak out loud about it and condemn this person for for making this joke? You know what I mean? Like, is it are you really offended, or are you just saying it so that people can look at you and be like, wow, that person's standing up? You know what I mean?
I mean, yeah, you're referring into the fact that they're saying that it's kind of like a mob mentality.
It is, yeah. That's to me, that's what cancel culture is. It's a mob mentality.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I think a lot of people will just be like, okay, yeah, let's join this, and
because they don't want to be on the outside.
Yeah,
they don't want to be part of the other.
Like, oh, now I'm part of this, canceling of this person or that person. It's like, okay,
Which also reminds me, we're totally giving everything away from this documentary, but still watch it. It's still interesting. There's one other situation, speaking of mob mentality, in the case of Justine Sacco. Remember that?
I do. I remember that.
Do you remember when it actually happened?
No, I remember from the documentary.
Oh, okay. I don't remember when it actually happened, but according to the documentary, I don't even know when it was.
Well, it must have been before 2015.
Yeah.
That's when the documentary was made.
So this girl by Justine Sacco, who is actually originally from South Africa, sent out a tweet right before she boarded a plane. She was boarding to South Africa, and she wrote, "Going to South Africa, hope I don't get AIDS. Just kidding, I'm white." And then boarded a 12-hour flight from London to South Africa. And during that flight, her whole life exploded, basically. Like, people retweeted it. It went viral. It was all over blogs. It was everywhere within the course of that 12-hour flight. She got fired from her job. Didn't even know it. This girl doesn't know anything is happening because she's on the flight. And when she lands, she gets a tweet or a text from her friend, a distant friend, and it's like, "I'm so sorry about what is happening to you right now." And she's like, "Huh?" And then she looks at her tweets and realizes that her whole life has imploded. And what's interesting about that is that when you hear that tweet, you think, wow, that's racist. Like, right? For face value.
Sure.
But she's actually from South Africa, and her dad moved them away from South Africa because it was super racist and segregated, and he didn't want them to live in that type of environment. So he moved them to London, and according to her, it was making a mockery of how people really are. Like, she was being sarcastic in that tweet. But as we all know, you can't read sarcasm through tweets. It was in poor taste.
Yeah. And it just went bad for her.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't, if it was meant to be a joke, I mean, I get it, but it wasn't funny.
It wasn't funny.
And then, nobody knows your backstory.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, also she only tweeted it. She only had like 170 people.
Yeah, but that
like
just goes to show you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Who knows? Like,
yeah, it's like a wildfire,
and it just took off. But it's the crazy part is that everybody's dragging her, and she's like, her
no
world is burning down, and she's like probably asleep on her 12-hour flight from London to wherever, Cape Town or whatever. You know what I'm saying? To the point where they created a Twitter hashtag because they realized she didn't know. Because I think her job, this is so crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy story.
Her job, I think she worked for a pharmaceutical company or some kind of, and I don't know, fired her.
Yeah.
And also put out a tweet or a message that was like, we can't reach her. She's on an international flight.
Yeah.
So then everybody, what does it say? It
was
switched
hashtag,
from like, let's get her to, oh my God, we can't wait until she lands.
Hashtag, it was hashtag, has Justine landed yet? So
fucked. And I mean, I assume if I look for that hashtag,
it probably still exists.
It still exists. Has Justine landed yet?
But here's the whole, thing to think about in this scenario. It's like, was it in poor taste? Reading it at face value, it doesn't look right. Anyone would be like, F this bitch, like, this is ridiculous, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But the point is that this girl's life was completely ruined in the course of 12 hours because of cancel culture, because of this mob mentality that we all have. And it's like, you say one wrong thing, even if it was a mistake, even if you're like, that's not how I meant it, and you're done. You're absolutely done. Your whole life is over the way that people attack people these days. And I don't know if I can get with that. The only time that I'm like, because I just was talking to my cousins about this the other day. The only time that I think that like censorship and all this stuff is like, we did the right thing is when they got Donald Trump off of Twitter, because this is the president of the United States. I don't want to see him tweeting this shit. I don't want to hear him talking about this stuff. We're living in this society that condemns this girl and ruins this girl's life over this stupid tweet that she posted. But we elect a president that says grab him by the pussy. And actually grabs them by the pussy. Not just says he grabs them by the pussy, but he's saying it because he's been grabbing women by their pussy. So what the fuck is happening?
I mean,
what is this world? Ugh, I can't.
Well, this just goes to show you. I just looked up the has Justine landed yet hashtag. Okay, you can do this.
You can do
this if you have the old Twitter. And somebody asked the question, what was your favorite day on Twitter? Okay. This was of April 25th. This is how recent this is. And somebody said the hashtag has Justine landed yet was one of the best moments on Twitter. And now somebody else was
That's so sad.
Somebody else said, I don't think we slept this night waiting to see has Justine landed yet. Y'all want to talk about a day on Twitter? Over here it says
that is
real ones know. Twitter moments of the decade.
Wow.
Yeah. So funny. Right here goes remember when that one lady tweeted foolishness, then boarded a plane and was jobless by the time she had to put her tray table up and put her seat upright for landing?
Oh my God.
Yeah. So people are now reminiscing.
Damn, they're bringing it back. Justine can't catch a break.
Just like we're talking about it, but
I know we are.
People are now remembering that day like, oh man, remember how crazy it was waiting for that lady to land and realize her life was over?
I just feel bad for her because I feel like it was something pulled out of context. I think that,
I mean, I think when you put something out and it gets
that's why I don't have a Twitter. That's why I don't have a Twitter.
It's tough. Yeah, I don't.
No, we don't need to hear.
The thing
That's why I just say everything on a podcast or it'll live forever.
Yeah. Totally safe.
It's literally my voice. Can't deny it. Oh man. Yeah, that shit's crazy to me. And there was like one writer or columnist or whatever that literally wrote something about was this take, like they kind of had her back saying like, are we overreacting? Did she really mean it this way? Maybe she meant it a different way. Like, can we look at this from a different angle? And they just attacked her for choosing the opposing position.
Right.
And she said, okay, no, never mind, and backed off. And, it's just, I don't know. This mob mentality, once everyone decides, like, you're the enemy. And if you're not on our side, you're the enemy. And it's just like, I don't know.
I mean, the crux of the
It's
argument
creepy.
is that people want free speech until it's something that they don't agree with. Then it becomes, whether you call it the mob attacking or the cancel culture, whatever, it becomes in itself censorship. Mm-hmm. So then the thing that you are supposedly protecting, or the thing that's even allowing you to drag these people, is the thing that you are now trying to suppress in another person.
Yeah.
And that is what I don't really vibe with.
Yeah.
When it comes down to the whole thing. It's like,
yeah,
I've heard people say the worst shit ever and then be like, free speech. And you're like, okay, I mean, whatever. There's nothing that says that you can't say that shit. You know what I mean? But then use your free speech to tell me that I can't say something.
Right.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I land on that argument at all times.
Yeah, I completely agree. Well,
it may not be a popular one, but that's mine.
Yeah, so if you guys are interested in that and want to explore that a bit, check out Can We Take a Joke? It's on Amazon. And kind of to segue out of that, since we were talking about mob mentality, did you hear about Lake Mead and how it's drying out and they're finding all these dead bodies in Lake Mead? And they're relating it to mob kills. That's my mob connection.
That's that. No, I liked it. I followed you there.
Are you with me?
Yeah,
are you in the lake?
I went. So this is it's like by the Hoover Dam, though, right? Or where is it? Where's Lake?
No, it's by Vegas. It's like 30 minutes. Well, yeah, I guess basically by Hoover Dam. Yeah.
So it's drying up. Let's start there.
I mean,
it's drying up as
what's more sad
from a drought?
What's more sad? I don't know what's more upsetting news, finding dead bodies or the fact that Lake Mead is drying out due to global warming. Like, Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Yeah, it's bad. It's really bad. The levels have gone down a lot. It's pretty significant. And I remember, I went there. I don't even remember when. Even when I went there several years back, the water levels were already going low because you can always tell by the docks. Mm-hmm. Once the docks are on dry land, you're like, oof, that's a bad sign. That's like Big Bear Lake.
When they look tall, when they look like they're high, you're like, why is it? Who would have built a dock that high?
Nope, that used to all be water. Yeah. It's scary. It's really bad. But yeah, they've been finding all these bodies in barrels. Everything's been showing up, and they're kind of tracing it back to mob kills because it's so close to Vegas, and a lot of these bodies are really old, like from the 70s. So I'm sure they'll end up coming out with some documentary about it, or some podcast about it. But it's pretty interesting.
But that's kind of interesting, like. Because, if you've ever seen Casino.
I love, that's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, it's such a good movie.
Such a good movie.
But there's that line where he goes, there's a lot of holes in this desert. Mm-hmm. And a lot of problems are buried in those holes.
Yep. Same thing.
But I never once.
This is only 30 minutes out.
I never once really thought about Lake Mead.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
They're like, Nikki, you want to dig a hole or you want to drop it in the lake today, huh?
Like, forget about it. I'm not digging.
I got on my fancy suit. I'm not digging today, son.
I'm going to Carlos Bakery getting a fucking cannoli. You fucking loser. somebody was offended by that.
Right. I'm Italian and I'm offended by this. But yeah, I thought that was kind of interesting. So we'll see. I haven't followed it too closely. I haven't like investigated further, but I just saw that as a headline and I was like, wow.
No, there's pictures of bones just laying around. So if you guys want to y'all want to see a dead body? Just literally, here's the funny thing is I just typed Lake Mead into the search, into Google, into the search engine on the interwebs. And the first thing that comes up is a barrel.
Oh yeah.
Like, so it's not going to be difficult.
It's a hot topic right now.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
You think they'll find like Jimmy Hoffa?
That's funny. I read an article about that and they were saying it was something like he wasn't a part of this or like, no, he's not a part of that or something. I don't remember. I can't remember, but they mentioned Jimmy Hoffa in that like Mead article. Yeah,
that's just like the kind of the most pop culture name when it comes to mob hits that nobody ever found again.
Right? Who knows? But yeah. Moral of the story: if you can't take a joke, don't go sit by the jokesters.
And we'd like to thank you for hanging out with these couple of knuckleheads.
Don't be our friend because we're not friendly.
That's right. If you don't want to get made fun of.
That's our love language.
Yeah. You're like, you know how much they like me? They made me cry yesterday.
So, actually, funny story. Omar actually didn't really like me when we first met because I was cracking jokes on him and making fun of him. And he was like, you don't know me.
Very much so. It wasn't the jokes. It was I don't think we're not
there yet.
We're not.
You don't know me like that.
Like make this joke. Like,
and I was
I
like,
don't even know you.
I was like, well, you're gonna know me, so.
It was just kind of like, but I didn't take it as like, how dare you? I was just kind of like, what did I do to her? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Because I was like, well, I didn't come in clowning on her. I don't know her like that. Like, why is she clowning on me?
I didn't even remember clowning you like that.
Like I said, it was just it's a comment you bring up. I mentioned it once.
I know, because I think it's like, so funny.
I was just like, I don't know what I did to her, but she came in hot. Like, she came in talking shit. Like,
it's because I liked you. I was like, I like this guy. I'm going to rip him a new one.
And then 9 years later, boom, you landed me. Oh my God, that's going to be it for us this week. Thank you so much for putting up with this rough return. I feel like it wasn't super smooth, but
I don't know. I thought it was a good episode. You guys let us know. Are you guys happy we're back?
It'll be like, no.
Yeah. Please don't do this anymore. I can get messages. Yeah. We've been saying this for a little while. Like, we've been kind of thinking about dabbling with doing couch quickies again. And Omar, I know in the last episode we mentioned watching a movie called Fresh. And if you did see it, you'll know that there's a very interesting theme in that movie that we were kind of thinking of bringing into a couch quickie episode. If you didn't see it, definitely suggest you check it out because it's a very unique film.
That's right. And you can find it on Hulu.
Yeah. It's good. It's very unexpected. When I first watched it, I was not expecting that at all because I knew nothing about it. And I think that's the best way to go into that movie. So we don't want to ruin anything else for you. Just watch it. Let us know what you think. And once you understand that there's a theme about it, we were thinking of doing Couch Quickie. If there's other suggestions that you guys have for Couch Quickies, let us know. Again, we're trying to get it back together, guys, for you. So we're doing our best over here in We're Babyland, but we appreciate you as always.
Bye.